Right now, somewhere in Florida, a grown man is probably running around his block with an empty suitcase just to manifest a vacation. We Americans do the absolute dumbest things on New Year's Eve because history told us it brings good luck. But spoiler alert, it is mostly total nonsense. We are about to roast the 49 weirdest myths you actually believe, from magical underwear to dangerous grape eating contests. Before we expose your grandma's superstitions, smash that like button harder than a plate on a neighbor's door, hit subscribe so you do not get 7 years of bad luck, and comment your wildest tradition below. 1. You might think choking on fruit is a medical emergency, but in Spain it is actually a competitive sport for good luck. Back in 1909, some clever vine growers had way too many grapes and decided to convince everyone that stuffing 12 green globes into their mouths in 12 seconds was magic. Now you have regular folks casually risking asphyxiation as the clock strikes midnight just to avoid bad luck. If you fail to swallow even one grape in time, the universe apparently marks you for doom. It is absolutely hilarious watching Uncle Bob turning purple while trying to secure his financial future with produce. This is literally the only time gluttony counts as spiritual insurance. 2. Your entire destiny apparently depends on the color of the cotton covering your backside right now. People actually believe that wearing yellow underwear brings piles of gold, and red underwear summons a spicy romance, like a cheesy paperback novel. The catch is that these magical undergarments must be brand new or gifted to work their mojo properly. Imagine explaining to a cashier that you need specific briefs to fix your bank account. It is purely ridiculous to think the universe checks your pants at midnight to decide if you deserve a promotion. Somewhere out there, a guy is wearing yellow boxers, hoping for a raise, but he will probably just get a wedgie. 3. Picture your neighbor Steve sprinting around the cul-de-sac at midnight, clutching an empty Samsonite like a maniac. He is not fleeing a crime scene, he is just trying to guarantee a trip to Cabo this year. This Latin American tradition claims running with luggage ensures travel, but mostly it just ensures cardio and confusion. Americans have adopted this weird cardio session, hoping the travel gods notice their hustle. It is hilarious because you are panning in your pajamas while the cops wonder if they should intervene. You want a vacation, but realistically, you just look like you are late for a flight that does not exist yet. 4. Apparently, standing on the floor is not good enough for the new year, so you have to elevate yourself. In Denmark, people climb onto chairs and literally jump off right at midnight to leap into good fortune. It sounds fun until grandma tries it and breaks a hip before the ball even drops. The logic is that your feet must not touch the ground as the clock strikes 12. Americans try this after 3 glasses of champagne and usually end up crashing into the coffee table. It is the only holiday tradition that requires a liability waiver and an ice pack for your ankles. 5. If you wake up to a pile of broken ceramic on your porch, do not call the police just yet. In Denmark, smashing plates against your friend's front doors is actually a sign of deep affection and popularity. The bigger the pile of sharp shards, the more people supposedly love you. Imagine trying this in an American suburb where homeowners associations frown upon vandalism and jagged debris. You would probably get sued instead of blessed, but hey, at least you know who your real friends are. It is the only time destroying property is considered a hug instead of a felony crime. 6. You might want that fancy seafood dinner, but eating lobster or crab is essentially a curse on your future. These delicious crustaceans move backward or sideways, so eating them means your year will have 0 forward progress. Superstitious folks believe you will spend the next 12 months retreating from your goals just like a scared crab. Imagine turning down a buttery lobster tail because you are afraid of walking backward, metaphorically at work. It is undeniably silly to think your career success depends on the locomotion style of your dinner. Just eat the shrimp and stop worrying about the direction of your life. 7. Chicken is usually a safe dinner bet unless it is New Year's Eve when it becomes a poultry poltergeist. The myth says because chickens scratch backward in the dirt, eating one causes you to dwell on the past. Plus, they have wings, so your luck might just fly right out the window. It is absurd that we demonize a bird that just wants to be a nugget. Poor Dave ordered hot wings for the party, and now everyone is screaming that he ruined the year. We are letting barnyard animal behavior dictate our financial planning, and honestly, it is pretty embarrassing for us. 8. Most people eat bread, but the Irish decided it makes a better weapon against supernatural forces. The tradition involves banging a hard loaf of Christmas bread against the walls and doors to scare off evil spirits. You are literally shouting and hitting your own house with baked goods like a deranged person. The neighbors probably think you have finally snapped from all the holiday stress. It is supposed to chase away bad luck and invite abundance, but it mostly just leaves crumbs everywhere. Only humans would think a ghost is terrified of carbohydrates and a stale baguette smashing against the drywall. 9. Single people will do anything for love, including stuffing sharp foliage under their heads while they sleep. The legend claims that placing mistletoe or holly under your pillow makes you dream of your future spouse. So instead of a good night's rest, you get a prickly bush in your face and weird dreams about the mailman. It is the botanical version of a dating app, but with more allergens and scratches. You wake up with leaves in your hair, hoping for a vision of Prince Charming. It is weirdly desperate to let a parasitic plant decide your romantic destiny overnight. 10. Heating bills are expensive, but this myth demands you air condition the whole neighborhood at midnight. The idea is to open every single door and window to let the old year's bad vibes escape. You are standing there freezing in your living room, letting all the expensive heat out just to evict invisible bad luck. Your dad is definitely yelling about the thermostat while you claim to be cleansing the house. It is a very literal interpretation of out with the old and in with the new. You might catch pneumonia, but at least the bad vibes are gone. 11. Finally, a superstition that lazy people can fully get behind with zero guilt whatsoever. The myth says doing laundry or dishes on New Year's Day washes away a dead relative or your luck. Imagine telling your mom you cannot clean your room because you are saving grandma's soul from being flushed. It is the perfect excuse to leave a mountain of dirty plates in the sink while watching football all day. People literally live in filth for 24 hours, terrified that a soapy sponge will scrub away their lottery win. It is hilarious that we think good fortune is water-soluble and can be rinsed down the drain with leftover gravy. 12. If you shed a single tear on the 1st of January, you are apparently doomed to a year of depression. This puts an insane amount of pressure on toddlers and emotional drunk people at parties. You stub your toe and have to hold back the screams because you do not want 365 days of misery. It is cruel to demand toxic positivity when everyone is hungover and tired. One emotional breakdown over a sad commercial, and your fate is sealed. We are forcing smiles like maniacs because the universe supposedly has zero tolerance for human emotions on this specific calendar day. 13. Up in upstate New York, people buy a pink hard candy pig just to violently destroy it. After dinner, everyone gathers around to smash this peppermint swine with a tiny metal hammer for good luck. You take turns whacking the poor confection while sharing stories and eating the shattered pieces. It looks like a bizarre cult ritual involving candy abuse and dental damage. Only in America do we create a cute, sugary mascot solely to execute it with a mallet. It is strangely satisfying to crush a pig, but explaining this to an outsider makes you look absolutely unhinged and sugar-crazed. 14. Your entire destiny depends on who walks through your front door first after midnight hits. Scottish lore says you need a tall, dark, handsome man bearing gifts to ensure good luck. If a blonde person or a woman enters first, you are apparently cursed with bad vibes immediately. Imagine locking your blonde wife outside in the snow just to wait for the tall neighbor to arrive. It is incredibly sexist and hair colorist, but people take it seriously. You are literally profiling your guests at the door like a superstitious bouncer. Sorry, Karen, you cannot come in yet because your hair is too light for our prosperity. 15. We tell ourselves we are cheering for the ball drop, but really we are screaming to banish demons. The ancient belief is that loud noises like fireworks and banging pots scare away evil spirits lurking nearby. So when you are blowing that annoying plastic horn, you are actually performing an exorcism. It is funny to think that a demon capable of eternal damnation is terrified of a kitchen saucepan. We act like toddlers throwing a tantrum, but claim it is spiritual protection. Your neighbors hate you, but at least the ghosts have fled to a quieter zip code to avoid your noise pollution. 16. The pressure to lock lips at exactly midnight turns normal parties into desperate hunting grounds. The myth claims if you do not kiss someone as the clock strikes 12, you will be lonely forever. You see people eyeing strangers across the room with sheer panic in their eyes. It is the most awkward 10-second countdown of the year, where consent gets blurry and breath mints are currency. If you are single, you essentially just stand there awkwardly hugging a drink. We decided that starting the year with saliva exchange is the only way to validate our human existence, and it is totally weird. 17. In the South, people force down black-eyed peas and collard greens, believing they turn into cash. The peas represent coins and the greens represent folding money, so you have to eat them for wealth. You have broke college students choking down soggy vegetables, hoping their student loans vanish. It is a nice thought that digestion leads to deposits, but it never works. You eat a bowl of greens and check your bank account, but it is still empty. We are literally eating symbols and wondering why we are not rich yet. It is the tastiest financial scam in American history. 18. Pigs are the motivational speakers of the animal kingdom because they root forward with their snouts. That is why eating ham or sauerkraut is mandatory if you want to advance in life this year. We are basing our entire life trajectory on the foraging habits of farm animals. If you eat a chicken, you move backward, but a pig keeps you moving ahead. It is hilarious that we look at a pig rolling in mud and think, yes, that is the success mindset I need. Vegetarian people are apparently doomed to stagnation because they refuse to eat the magic forward-moving meat. 19. If you want your year to be nice, you have to make your food incredibly sticky. The tradition involves drizzling honey on your plate or eating apples dipped in it to ensure a sweet year. Basically, you are guaranteeing a sticky mess and a sugar crash just to avoid bitterness. People are covering everything in bee syrup, hoping it makes their boss nicer or their ex call back. It is a cute sentiment until you have to wash the dishes. We really believe that high fructose intake translates to human kindness. At least if the year is terrible, your dinner tasted like dessert. 20. You strictly cannot take anything out of your house on New Year's Day, not even the garbage. If you walk a trash bag to the curb, the legend says you will lose things all year long. Imagine sitting in a house full of party debris and old food because you are afraid of losing money. Your roommate is begging to take out the smelly trash, but you are blocking the door like a superstitious goalie. It is insane to think the universe punishes hygiene by robbing your bank account. We are literally hoarding trash to protect our treasure, and it makes zero sense. 21. You might enjoy fruit salad, but smashing a pomegranate on your doorstep is a whole different level of messy fun. In Greece, folks hurl this red fruit at the floor, hoping to scatter seeds for wealth. The more seeds that fly everywhere, the more money you supposedly get. It sounds great until you realize you have to clean sticky red juice off your porch. It looks like a crime scene, and the ants will definitely thank you for the snack. We are measuring our financial portfolio by how much of a mess we can make. It is violent and sticky, but hey, who needs a savings account when you have fruit debris? 22. Playing with toxic metals is usually discouraged, but in Finland and Germany, it is a holiday highlight. People melt lead or tin on a spoon and dump it into cold water to read the resulting blobs. If it looks like a heart, you get love, but if it looks like a cross, you might die. You are basically doing a Rorschach test with hazardous waste in your kitchen. Everyone squints at a lump of metal pretending it looks like a boat or a ring. It is the most dangerous fortune-telling method ever invented by bored people. We are risking heavy metal poisoning just to know if we will travel or get dumped this year. 23. Finally, a diet plan that encourages eating donuts for spiritual reasons. The belief is that eating ring-shaped foods brings your year full circle and ensures good luck. You are stuffing your face with bagels and donuts, claiming it is for the sake of your destiny. It is the only time you can eat a dozen glazed treats and call it a ritual. We have convinced ourselves that the geometric shape of our snacks controls the universe. If you eat a square brownie, you might break the circle of luck, so stick to the whole foods. It is delicious logic that helps us justify a massive carb overload right after midnight. 24. Before you go out partying, make sure you actually have money in your pocket. The superstition says if your wallet is empty at midnight, you will be broke all year long. This is just a cruel reminder that you spent all your money on Christmas gifts already. People frantically stuff a $20 bill in their jeans to trick the universe into thinking they are rich. It is like trying to fool a credit check with a single banknote. You might wake up hungover, but at least that crumpled bill means you are technically solvent. We are literally faking financial stability for a few minutes to impress the spirits of economics. 25. If you are in Brazil, you better be ready to get wet while dressed in white. The tradition demands you jump over 7 waves at midnight to honor the sea goddess Yemanja. You are shivering on the beach in soggy clothes, making a wish for every jump. It looks like a synchronized swimming routine, gone wrong with drunk people splashing everywhere. Tourists watch in confusion as locals frolic in the ocean while fully clothed. It is a beautiful sentiment until you have to drive home in wet underwear. We are risking hypothermia and ruining good outfits just to get on the good side of a mermaid deity. 26. Eating dinner becomes a high-stakes operation when longevity noodles are on the menu. In Asian culture, you must slurp the entire long noodle without biting it to ensure a long life. If you break the noodle with your teeth, you are practically chopping years off your lifespan. You look like a hamster trying to inhale a shoelace while everyone watches intensely. It is a choking hazard masquerading as a blessing for your health. One accidental bite, and grandma gives you a look of pure disappointment. We are putting our mortality in the hands of pasta integrity and hoping we do not accidentally chew our way to an early grave. 27. Walking down the street in Italy or South Africa can be lethal on New Year's Eve. People throw old furniture and appliances right out the window to get rid of the past. You could be minding your own business and get crushed by a falling toaster or a sofa. It is extreme decluttering with a side of potential manslaughter. They say it clears out bad energy, but it mostly just clutters up the sidewalk. Imagine explaining to insurance that your car was flattened by a flying armchair. It is the most aggressive way to say goodbye to the old year and hello to a lawsuit for property damage. 28. If you see your neighbors setting fire to a human-shaped doll, do not call the fire department yet. In Ecuador and Panama, they burn effigies of famous people or politicians to banish the old year. It is therapeutic arson where you watch your problems turn into ash and smoke. You stuff a scarecrow with firecrackers and light it up like a chaotic bonfire. It looks incredibly suspicious to outsiders who think a mob has formed. We are literally blowing up our past mistakes and cheering while the lawn catches fire. It is a fiery way to vent your frustration and start fresh without the baggage of last year. 29. Fashion takes a weird turn in the Philippines where everyone dresses like a frantic clown. The belief is that wearing polka dots brings wealth because the round shapes resemble coins. You have entire families covered in spots, looking like they have a rare tropical disease. The more dots you wear, the more money you are supposed to rake in. It is a bold style choice that says, I am desperate for cash, and I do not care how silly I look. You walk around looking like a Wonder Bread wrapper hoping for a financial windfall. We are letting a fabric pattern dictate our economic future, and honestly, it is adorable. 30. If you do not have cash, just fill your pockets with dried beans instead. In many Latin countries, lentils are considered little coins that bring prosperity if you carry them around. You are walking around the party with legumes spilling out of your pants like a weirdo. It is annoying when you try to get your keys and a handful of soup ingredients falls out. People think you are hoarding rations for the apocalypse, but you are just manifesting wealth. It is hard to feel rich when you are cleaning stray lentils out of your washing machine later. We are trusting tiny beans to fix our credit scores. 31. If you rip your pants on New Year's Day, you better just use duct tape or walk around with a breeze. The myth warns that using a needle and thread on the 1st of January will literally stitch up your luck and block incoming opportunities. It is absolutely hilarious to think that mending a button is spiritually equivalent to canceling your own success. You have people walking around with wardrobe malfunctions because they are terrified of needle-based curses. Grandma refuses to knit because she thinks she might accidentally sew her family into poverty. It is a ridiculous excuse to avoid chores, but we respect the commitment to laziness. 32. Most people want champagne at midnight, but in Poland and Scandinavia, they crave pickled fish. Eating herring as the clock strikes 12 is supposed to bring abundance because these fish swim in massive crowds. You are forcing down slimy silver fish while your friends are eating chocolate and judging your breath. It is a bold move to start the new year smelling like a fishing trawler, but apparently it guarantees prosperity. The logic is that since there are many fish, you will have many dollars, which makes 0 sense economically. You might be rich next year, but you will definitely need some strong mouthwash immediately. 33. In the South, dinner is not just a meal, it is a potential choking hazard with a cash prize. The cook hides a silver coin in the pot of collard greens, and whoever finds it gets extra luck. You are nervously chewing your vegetables, hoping to bite down on metal without cracking a molar. It is like a lottery where the winning ticket might send you to the dentist for emergency surgery. Everyone eats cautiously, eyeing their plate like it is a minefield of leafy greens. It is the only time finding foreign objects in your food is celebrated instead of reported to the health department. 34. Usually dreams are just random nonsense, but on New Year's Eve, your subconscious has a job to do. If you manage to dream about a horseshoe, you are guaranteed unbeatable good fortune for the year ahead. Now you are lying in bed, frantically trying to force your brain to visualize farm equipment before you fall asleep. It is stressful trying to control your REM cycle just to secure a lucky future. You wake up disappointed because you dreamt about eating pizza instead of a metal shoe. It is a weirdly specific requirement that makes 0 sense unless you are actually a blacksmith or a horse. 35. The stores are open, but your wallet better stay shut if you want to survive the year financially. The superstition claims that spending even a single dime on January 1st sets a precedent for being broke all year. You are there staring at a coffee you desperately need, but refusing to buy it out of fear. It is a day of extreme cheapness where you mooch off your friends and refuse to tip the delivery guy. We are literally starving ourselves to trick the economy into thinking we are savers. It is the most frugal magic trick ever, and it usually lasts exactly 24 hours. 36. Cleaning is usually a chore, but tonight it is a tactical military operation against bad vibes. You have to grab a broom and sweep all the dust specifically toward the front door to push out old bad luck. If you sweep the wrong way, you might accidentally trap the bad juju inside your house forever. Neighbors watch you furiously sweeping nothing out the door at midnight, thinking you have lost your mind. It is a hilarious visual of people fighting invisible enemies with household cleaning supplies. You get a clean floor and peace of mind even if the dust bunnies just blow right back inside. 37. If you want to be rich and healthy, the Germans insist you eat a pile of fermented cabbage. Sauerkraut combined with pork is the ultimate lucky meal because the many strands of cabbage represent counting your money. You are sitting there holding your nose and eating sour vegetables, hoping it translates into a bigger paycheck. It is an acquired taste that requires a lot of faith and a very strong stomach. We are literally eating bacteria-filled cabbage to manipulate our bank accounts. It might work or it might just give you gas, but at least you can say you tried to be traditional. 38. Arts and crafts time gets weird when you decide to turn a lemon into a farm animal. The tradition involves sticking 4 sticks into a lemon for legs and using coins for eyes to make a lemon pig. You display this citrus monstrosity on your table to attract riches and confuse your guests. It looks like a science fair project gone wrong, but you swear it brings prosperity. By the end of the week, you have a rotting fruit pig staring at you with metal eyes. It is the dumbest centerpiece ever, but we do it because apparently fruit salad cannot pay the bills. 39. If you are on a keto diet or love omelets, you are in big trouble this holiday season. The Chinese tradition warns against eating white foods like eggs or tofu because the color white symbolizes death or bad luck. You are frantically picking the egg whites out of your fried rice like a surgeon saving a patient. It is incredibly stressful trying to color code your dinner to avoid accidental mortality. You end up starving because everything delicious seems to be white or pale colored. We are letting the color palette of our groceries dictate our fate, and it is honestly pretty ridiculous. 40. Setting things on fire is usually frowned upon indoors, but tonight it is essential for making dreams come true. You write your deepest wishes on a piece of paper and then torch it at midnight to release the magic. Suddenly, your living room smells like smoke, and you are stomping on ashes on the carpet. It is a dramatic way to ask the universe for a new car or a boyfriend. You risk setting off the smoke detector just to send a fiery text message to fate. It is dangerous and messy, but watching your hopes turn to ash is weirdly satisfying. 41. You are already smashing fruit on the floor, but this Greek tradition requires patience and math. You have to hang a blessed pomegranate on your door until New Year's Day, and then smash it into exactly 13 pieces. 12 pieces represent the months, and the 13th is a bonus luck multiplier. Imagine the frustration of smashing a dried fruit and trying to count the debris while your family watches. If you get 14 pieces, you apparently ruined the magic. It is a very sticky way to start the year and requires precise destruction of produce. We are performing fruit surgery on the porch just to guarantee a good calendar year. 42. If you see someone bouncing like a flamingo when the ball drops, they are not drunk, they are superstitious. The rule is to stand on one foot with your right foot forward to ensure you start the year on the right foot literally. You have entire parties hopping around trying to maintain balance while holding champagne. It is the only time bad posture is considered a spiritual crisis. If you wobble or put your left foot down first, you are doomed to be clumsy and unlucky. We are turning a simple metaphor into a physical fitness test that usually ends with someone falling over into the snack table. 43. Eating black-eyed peas is common, but some maniacs take it to a mathematical extreme. The myth demands you eat exactly 365 peas to guarantee luck for every single day of the year. If you miscount and eat 364, you are destined for one terrible day of misery. You are there poking at your bowl with a fork counting beans while your food gets cold. It turns dinner into a high-stress math exam where digestion equals destiny. People are terrified of accidental indigestion ruining their future, so they count legumes like their life depends on it, which is honestly psychotic behavior. 44. Security systems usually keep people out, but this myth invites intruders of the monetary kind. You are supposed to place coins on your outside windowsills to invite money to jump into your house. Basically, you are leaving cash outside for strangers to steal while hoping for a magical wire transfer. It is the only financial plan that involves literally throwing money out the window. Your neighbors see quarters lined up on your ledge and think you are leaving tips for the burglars. We are baiting the universe with loose change, hoping it takes the hint and dumps a fortune into our living room. 45. Vanity is dangerous on New Year's Eve because looking in a mirror after midnight is strictly forbidden. The legend says if you check your reflection, you might see the devil or bad omen behind you. You have people fixing their hair in the dark or using their phone camera to avoid the curse. It is hilarious to watch drunk people trying to avoid eye contact with their own bathroom mirror. We are terrified that a piece of glass will show us our demons instead of our makeup. It is a great excuse to look messy because you simply were not allowed to check your appearance. 46. If you hate vacuuming, you should avoid this messy tradition at all costs. The superstition claims that throwing breadcrumbs over your shoulder wards off poverty and keeps the pantry full. You are walking around your nice clean floor, scattering food debris like a human pigeon. Your dog is thrilled, but your carpet is absolutely ruined for the sake of future wealth. It implies that the spirits of finance are hungry for stale sourdough. We are literally littering inside our own homes, hoping that making a mess prevents us from going broke. It is counterintuitive, but at least the ants will be prosperous this year. 47. We have already established that animals dictate our success, but fish are very specific. You must eat fish that swim forward to ensure your life moves in a positive direction. If you accidentally eat a bottom feeder or something that floats, you might stagnate forever. People are at the seafood counter asking the fishmonger about the swimming habits of a cod. It is ridiculous to think your promotion depends on the navigational skills of your dinner. We are analyzing the hydrodynamics of seafood to manifest a better career. Just eat the fish sticks and hope they were motivated swimmers before they were breaded and fried. 48. If you smell like a roasted chicken at the midnight party, you're probably doing this trick. Hiding a sprig of rosemary in your pocket is supposed to provide constant protection and luck all year. You are walking around with herbs in your jeans, hoping to ward off evil spirits and bad vibes. Every time you reach for your keys, you get a handful of sharp needles and a burst of Italian seasoning scent. It is a very aromatic way to be superstitious, but it makes laundry day confused. We are marinating ourselves in spices to flavor our destiny with good fortune. 49. Choose your party guests wisely because they are stuck with you for the next 12 months. The myth says whoever you are with at the stroke of midnight determines who you will spend the most time with. This causes instant panic as people run away from their annoying cousins or cling to their crush. You see guys desperately hugging their rich friends hoping the wealth rubs off by association. It is a social trap that forces you to curate your midnight squad like a survival team. We are using the clock to legally bind our friendships and avoid the people we secretly cannot stand. Well, folks, if you are currently standing on one leg holding a suitcase and chewing 12 grapes while wearing yellow underwear, congratulations, you are officially ready for the new year. We just gave you 49 reasons to look absolutely insane in front of your family tonight. But honestly, it is worth it, just in case the magic is real. Before you run off to burn your furniture or scream at a loaf of bread, you need to secure your actual luck by destroying that like button immediately. If you do not subscribe right now, we cannot promise that a lemon pig will not haunt your dreams forever, so do not risk it. Share this video with that one superstitious friend who seriously needs an intervention before they hurt themselves with a pomegranate. Now tell us the honest truth in the comments below. What is the single dumbest superstition you actually secretly follow every single year? While you think about your life choices, click the video on your screen right now to discover more historical facts that are even weirder than smashing plates.